With Arkveld being revealed to us a little bit more than a week ago, the community has been on fire, trying to solve the mystery of the final boss, or if Arkveld is the final boss himself. And I love seeing the community theorize, I love seeing it, but I'm gonna have to tell you all, stop it. There's no need anymore. I solved the case. But just in case I didn't, don't quote me, please. Just in case. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the final boss, or bosses, of Monster Hunter Wilds. This one's going to be a doozy, so I hope you got your snacks, your drinks, and are ready to listen. So what will the final boss of Wilds be? Well, I believe it's going to be these two dragons right here. And yes, I know people already discussed this, but listen, I mean, hey, it's a good reason. Recently in the games, we've been getting pretty much confirmation of what the monster is, or at least the silhouette of what it'll be, in these logos. Whether it'll be the flagship or the endgame boss. I mean, in Sunbreak, you had Malzeno. In Rise, you had Ibushi and Narwa. And in World, while yes, not specifically showing you what it is supposed to reference the dragons that made the world, one of them being the Sapphire Star, which ended up being Safi'jiiva. With Iceborne, though, it'll be more of an outlier. Nothing that really shows visualization of, like, Velkhana or Shari's Falda. But since it still had the Sapphire Star, it could just be a reference to how Safi'jiiva was coming into Iceborne. And look, I mean, I don't see anything that resemble these guys. Rei Dao and Arkveld don't really look like these, I'll be honest. And why I'm specifying these two is because the other four don't really have anything characteristically defining them in any way, unlike these two right here. However, I don't think we're getting another Ibushi and Narwa, since I think these two are actually completely different species, but have the same ancestor. I can already hear you saying, oh, come on, Spotwell, really? Two powerful monsters that look very similar and have the same ancestor, but are completely opposites and different from each other in every single way? Come on now! And I like to direct your attention to Akantor and Eukonlos. Both of them, by the way, here's a little mindfuck, are flying wyvern. Yeah, I know. Apparently they have little nubs where their wings used to be that are still considered at all, so I guess they're still flying wyverns. Anyways, that's weird. But yes, Akantor and Eukonlos are effectively pretty much the same, except one lives in the icy tundras, the other one lives in complete volcanic regions. One has a jaw meant for crushing and snapping monsters apart. Another has a shovel chin meant for digging through the ice and snow. One has hard spikes and scales, the other one just has a shit ton of blubber and thick skin. So you can see how, like, they are completely different, but they look so similar. And just because they're similar doesn't mean that they won't beat the shit out of each other. The guild has to be in constant surveillance of where each other's location is. Because if they ever met, dude, it's an Avengers level threat. They will destroy everything while fighting each other. So we gotta make sure that they never see each other, which I believe is happening currently in Monster Hunter Wilds. Except we can't push them apart because they're already fighting each other currently. That's why I believe it's been called the Forbidden Lands. Because yeah, don't go to the area where there are two massive Leviathan Elder Dragons duking it out. Or at least they were duking out. Because by the time we get there, nothing's happening apparently. Oh, and don't mention the tribal people or the villagers, because they're not a part of the guild, at least initially. We are going there for the first time to explore this new land. So the indigenous people who live there, yeah, no, they're not with us, really. So, you know, they don't count. Okay, so I've been yapping a bit, I'm not gonna lie. So what do I actually think these two will look like, and what are they even? Well, I believe that there is snake elder dragons. Similar to Dalmadur, but not really. And to have similar opposing sides like Akantor and Eukonlos, I believe there'll be an elder dragon of the storm and an elder dragon of the earth. And what's my reasoning for each of those? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's start with the storm elder dragon. I have 3 key evidence that shows that there will at least be a storm elder dragon. With the first point being, I believe the storms that we see in Monster Hunter Wilds is actually created from this monster. With the first evidence being, this is not real lightning. What do you mean, Spottable? I mean, look at this. This is obviously real lightning, right? How could it not be? And it's simple. That's not the color of real lightning in this universe. So what does actual lightning look like? Simple. Kirin. It's been confirmed that Kirin uses real lightning. And even if you wanted to say, oh, Kirin's lightning isn't real lightning, which it is, Kirin doesn't use it in a blast or anything. He uses it how actual lightning works. With the connection of 2 points, lightning is struck down and fries anything it touches. It is real lightning. Even if you don't want to use Kirin as an example, we have seen in the new world at the very least what what thunderstorms look like and the color of those storms. Does this look like this? No, it doesn't. And unlike fire, you can't just fucking change the color of lightning. So it has to be from a monster. We've even seen other monsters use their thunder capabilities in storms to make it look like, you know, different colors. But again, it's not real lightning. Look at Amatsu, look at White Fatalis, look at Narwa, look at Rajang. I mean, goddammit, even Astalos does this for a little bit. My second piece of evidence comes from mainly this map, which shows this giant thunder monster that seemingly has a serpent-like body. And it could be just the coloring of the map, but the colors here shown on the map look a hell of a lot similar to the color of the lightning strikes in Wilds. If you want to know a little bit more about this, Gacha Hunter has a good video about it. I'll have a link down below in the description. And the third and final reason why I believe the storms are caused by a monster and it's not natural is because of how often the storms are. I mean, there is constantly storms going on in these trailers that we are being shown, so it has to be a big part of the gameplay. Not to mention that apparently it's stormed so much that the animals have evolved to circumvent the constant lightning strikes. Dog, do you know how often lightning has to be constantly striking somewhere for two specific animals to build around it? Ray Dow gets a benefit by powering up his railgun, and these little cute guys right here, at least the males, I'm assuming the males, gain this giant spike so that lightning strikes them and not the herd. Not to mention these lightning poles that are posted like everywhere, and these right here are man-made. These are not natural. Most likely built by the keepers, I believe they're called, to help them with the lightning situation. They probably got inspiration from the cute little guys. I know they have names, but I'm gonna call them cute little guys. And even more, a little bit of a bonus reason, or more of a bonus question, why don't we see this sort of behavior in other animals or with the least structures like these anywhere else in any of the games? That's because lightning doesn't happen that often, my dude. At the very least, it doesn't strike down so much that you would need to adapt for this or build for this reason. It's only like this because there's an Elder Dragon specifically living here creating these storms. And I believe the Storm Dragon is only at the Sandy Plains because in the Scarlet Forest, we actually see it raining. Not just wind, it's raining, and there's not really a lot of lightning.
Oh God, they try to drown me in that hole. I cannot see.
Out here in the desert, it's all wind, all lightning. There isn't a single drop of moisture going around here. Coincidence? I think not. There's just too many things pointing that this is not a natural storm. It is created by a monster. Okay, now what about the Earth Dragon? Why do I think it's an Earth Dragon and not something else? Well, mainly two parts, right? It wouldn't make sense for there to be a giant, like, Dalmadur looking creature just kind of fucking about on the surface, right? The only reason why people might not be able to see it is because it's in the ground. Plus, it would mirror each other like a Cantor and Yconlos. Not to mention that these two structures right here that we're always seeing as a centerpiece in these desert areas does not look man-made. Nor does it look like it's made from like lightning constantly striking that area. This looks like it was made by a large monster that has the power to shape the earth, kind of like Shara. But I don't think it's Shara. And that'll do it for part 1. And yes, I said part 1. Part 2 will be its own separate video, and it will mainly be all about Arkveld and what I think the real meaning of this picture is. And I'm really excited to show you because I don't think anyone really has the same theory I do. But like I said, that's the end of part 1. This video was mainly me telling you what I thought the two snake-looking wyvern elder dragon things on the logo were going to be. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video, please, for me and the two new snake elder dragons coming to Wilds, hit the subscribe and the like button. I always love seeing your support. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe, hunters.